Do you want to do any sort of intro first? Do you want to like say hi to people?
The intro is the internet is disappointed in us, bro. Us
Why?
specifically.
Oh,
Okay,
that's
not
what you're
us
going to talk about?
specifically. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We got a lot of
No,
negative comments on that last one.
no. I'm not talking about negative comments. I'm talking about like all throughout this week, I've been seeing these memes for some reason of people who seem to be genuinely disappointed that there are people out here actually using ChatGPT. Like there was all this like mocking, like I can't believe some people actually use this for research or for writing or for getting recipes or for I don't know, what other stuff do we use it for? Oh, someone said math. Yeah. They're like, this is so sad. Use a calculator. This is so sad. Um, Learn how
Use
to
your
cook.
brain.
I don't know. It was so funny because I'm just like, oh, really? Like some people seem like so disappointed that people actually use ChatGPT like it was lame and uncool. And I was like, huh. Did they think we're getting
That's interesting.
dumber because we use AI?
I'm like, we maybe are. We're not choosing to learn these things, but if you're going to say instead go to Google or a calculator, that's not any better.
You know, I know that was funny to me. Yeah, but I'm just yeah.
I
But then it opened that concept of, is this going to make us dumber? Are we not cool
yeah,
because we don't know how to do the old ways? And to a certain extent, I think the old ways can be legit. I mean,
yeah,
a lot
I'm
of that
like
is in style right now.
I like making fun of people when they can't do easy math in their head because I can.
Okay, yeah,
So stuff like
yeah.
that. But I wouldn't say, what, you're using ChatGPT? Use a calculator.
How
Like,
embarrassing!
it's the same thing,
I know.
guys.
It's like ChatGPT is like this uncool thing. It was interesting. I definitely haven't seen a lot of that. A lot of people. I mean, obviously, whenever I look on anything business related, entrepreneur stuff like that,
Hmm.
it's very much
Pro AI.
you have to be able to use this. Yeah, 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 yeah. This is the future. This is where it's going. If you're not using it, you're uncool and dumb. But then I
Out
saw
of
all these memes and I was like, that's funny.
out of curiosity, did it seem to mostly be ChatGPT or was it like all AI?
I think everything that I saw was ChatGPT. I
Because
think that's the one that's like the most well known right now. So maybe
yeah,
people just hear about it and they're like, "Well, that sounds stupid." I'm like, "Huh?"
because
Like,
I think it'd be pretty funny if ChatGPT was just the culturally like one that people
the mocked one.
disapproved of.
Well,
Yeah,
they
the
weren't
mocked
saying
one
use this
basically.
other one instead. You
Sure,
know,
but I just mean
they were
like
saying learn how to do stuff.
yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean Grok is the cool one in my opinion now. And I feel like a lot
sure.
of people are
Oh, I
agreeing
know.
where it's just like Grok feels like talking to a person that's there to help you out with stuff. ChatGPT is like, what? You still use that? That's my take
And
on
that'd be
it.
one thing. I love that. If you're like, man,
But
you still use ChatGPT and not Grok, like that's hilarious to me. But yeah, they weren't pointing to another one. But it reminded me of this note that I took forever ago from some entrepreneur article about like 8 ways to get smarter. And I was like, are we, I was like, do we need to make sure we're still like getting smarter and we're not just turning into drooling, mouth breathing
Wally,
idiots? Oh, well, they're not drooling, mouth breathing idiots, but yeah, sure, sure.
I
But then it was
mean,
like the
they
eight
do
ways
breathe
to get
out of their
smarter.
mouths and they're kind of idiots. But yeah.
Okay, fair enough. But it was exercise, sleep, meditate, drink coffee, play an instrument,
Mm,
read, continue learning, which I'm like, okay, yes,
hmm.
and socialize. Those are the things that you always had to keep doing, which I'm like, drink
I
coffee is
agree.
hilarious to me because some people were like, what? But yeah, those
Yeah,
are
I
the
don't
eight
agree
ways
with
to get
drink
smarter.
coffee. I would literally say drink a good amount of water.
That would, yeah,
Where it's
well,
just
see,
like
then it just
stay
sounds like a health
hydrated.
thing too.
Well, I know
Yeah,
it
yeah, yeah,
does,
yeah.
but as far as like, and also I don't meditate, but as far as being like a purposeful hour without background noise or things like that, where you're at least like trying to stay away from the constant noise, I wouldn't instead also hum or whatever. I don't know. I don't meditate.
Well, I think
Um,
meditation, I think you can talk about that as in doing a daily devotion. You know what I mean?
or yeah, yeah,
I know that that looks different if you're not someone who has faith, but if you are, I think that that is probably number one, actually, you know, like,
sure.
right?
No, it
So
is.
it's,
I'm
but
just
yeah, some
saying
sort of mindfulness.
some,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah, and then I mean otherwise learning I think instrument and reading are both good. I don't know if an instrument is necessary, but it's I feel like that's just a form of be creative and I'm like, well then you could say
Sure,
draw or bake or whatever. So I don't
sure.
know if an instrument is necessary, but whatever.
I'm not
I
sure
just
how
say that
those
because I'm not
compare.
good at playing any instruments. So. I'm
Right.
like,
No,
please give me a different
yeah,
option.
it shows. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding, but I don't know. I don't know how those stack up against each other as far as which one makes you smarter.
Yeah.
I definitely have seen the things about the instruments, I think, more often. But definitely just people talk about being creative, like create over consume, that's a
Mm,
big thing. Are you
I know.
scrolling through
I'm
your
trying to do
phone
that
for
more.
hours and hours and hours, or are you
I'm
making
trying to do
something?
that less.
Even if it's something dumb. Trying
Yeah.
to scroll through your phone hours and hours less?
I
Yeah.
don't a ton.
Right?
I haven't in a long time gotten like lost. Like maybe I'll purposely get on there, but lost on Reels, TikToks,
Like the
whatever.
doom scrolling, and you're just like,
But
oh, what day is
yeah.
it? Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
like especially weekdays, I'm like, cool, open up YouTube, play YouTube most of the day, maybe in the background, even if it's chill or fun or whatever. And I mean, even music is better. But yeah, I'm trying to just be like, okay, I am getting a lot. I've kind of noticed it more and more because I will watch like random political videos and then I'll turn to my wife and be like, this political thing happens. And she's like, I don't care. And that's totally fair
Yeah.
because it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, oh, I think in my brain, I'm just like, I've
Yeah.
got this
Oh,
knowledge.
yeah.
I now must do something with it. But I don't have anything to do with it. I'm not creating content off politics or anything. So then I'm like, okay, maybe I need to watch less politics or at least be creative in a different way because I'm over here and taking knowledge and then there's nothing to do with it. So then I just know
I mean,
things, but
we've talked
I'm
about
not even
that. Like,
socializing,
it's
you know? So
ingredients, right? It's all the ingredients you take in are going to affect what comes out too. So it's
sure.
like, okay, when you are consuming, is it positive or is it a bunch of like
Well, yeah,
crazy, cranky people? Or is
I
it, you
try
know
to
what I
stay on
mean?
the
Like,
positive side of things. I know
yeah,
politics, but it's fun for me learning about corruption or conspiracies or things like that, and I stay away from the more sad stories.
sure, sure,
But
sure, sure.
still, but still, just even the content, the type of content, I don't do anything with politics. So all I can really do is talk to other people about it, which it's fun to know for that one reason. But then I'm like, well, okay, if I want to draw or I want to create videos, as soon as I put on a fun video about like a cartoon or something like that, then I want to draw or I want to create cartoons or I want to do something
Yeah.
else. And I'm
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
I should put on
Every time.
content that inspires me to be more creative more often.
The moment I sit down and start reading a Charles Dickens book, I'm like, I'm going to write. I'm going to be an amazing writer. Let's
Literally.
go. Like,
Yeah.
absolutely. Sorry, now I see this whole long note that has all this compilations of how to live a better life. I love it. But if we want to go back to AI,
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
speaking of politics, something that I think we missed back in January, where there were these fake phone calls coming from Joe Biden with his voice that were being, that he was calling New Hampshire Democrats and telling them not to vote. Not in the
Let's go.
November election, but in the what I can't even remember the name of it right now. But anyway, so the phone call started with Joe Biden saying, "What a bunch of malarkey," because that's something that I guess he
Hmm.
says pretty
He
often.
said plenty.
Okay, yeah. And then it went on to just like say, if you vote this Tuesday, you're just playing into the Republicans' hands, something like that. Like, this is just going to help them. We need you in November, but not this Tuesday. Anyway, really interesting. I guess not that interesting, but people were literally like investigating, trying to figure out who the heck was making these phone calls because they included like a phone number of the Democratic Party chair in New Hampshire. Anyway, so it was like they're just trying to figure it out. So I was reading a more recent news story that was actually, it was just released today, and it mentioned that fake phone call because it was talking about voice stuff, but it also mentioned that they actually found out that like this political consultant actually admitted to being the one behind all this, and he was fined $6 million.
Wow.
Like,
I'm curious, what side of the political, what political
oh, I
side?
have no idea. That's funny. I
Well,
don't
I'm just
know.
like, is it a Democrat trying to tell Democrats to not vote? Or,
He was on the side of mayhem,
well,
bro.
that's true. He was on the side of getting fined a ton of money. So,
Well, yeah, totally.
yeah.
But anyways, this was so all of that was like some backstory stuff. But I was reading more about voice AI today, and anyway, super just interesting how little of a barrier there is between just stealing someone's voice. Like you can pretty much just do it. There's like six different main tools out there, and I was reading this one, and it says four of the services: Eleven Labs, Peachify, Play HD, and Lovo. I guess all you have to do is check a box to say that you got authorization to
Wow.
use a person's voice. Beautiful. And then there was another one that says, no, 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 it's not just checking a box. We're going to be secure about it. You have to record the audio of their voice for us to use as a sample in real time. Like you have to record it right now.
Mm,
So like if you hold your phone next to your laptop and play a recording, it works. Like, you know what I mean? And then
wow.
there's one where you actually have to record them saying, I give my consent. And that's pretty specific to be able to do
So you go to one
unless
of
you
the other
already use
tools
that. Exactly.
and you
Yeah,
then
exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
wow.
But I was just like, wow, this is, I mean, we knew it's here, but I didn't realize until reading this how there is pretty much no protection against it at the moment. And I think you and I, we don't really have the fame that anyone's going to be trying to steal our voice at the moment anytime soon. But definitely for people who do have those iconic voices, like it's just out there.
Yeah.
Sorry. Like there's not really much we can do about it at this point, I feel like. So that was interesting. Yeah.
Hmm.
Those are the kind of the things that I was thinking about today was that do people think we're dumb for using ChatGPT? And then, wow, you can just steal anyone's voice and there's really no barrier to
Yeah.
that.
I'm like when regulations come into play, I feel like they'll definitely be where they should be for a lot of AI stuff, where they'll be on the output, not the input. Where it's like, yeah, you could use a tool, you could even create your own AI, voice AI. If this keeps getting easier and easier to make your own AI, then create your own
Sure,
voice AI and then do it yourself illegal, or do it yourself. But then if you use it in many different ways, then that's against the law, and then it'll become a spam thing where it there's already like illegal calls that you get where people try to get your money and then they'll use it for those. So you'll still have to be weary of it
yeah,
because it will still be used in illegal ways, but it will be illegal. Whereas if you go to a voice tool and create a voice, you're not being illegal. But if then you use that voice, then it could be illegal. So I feel like
right,
it's not
okay, that
wrong to
makes
be
sense.
able to use these voices. It's just wrong in how you use them. Or yeah, not
Sure,
wrong to be able to
sure.
create them. Yeah, speaking of voice AI, I saw that Hume.ai. I feel like we've even talked about them before, but maybe not. I don't know if this is new, but you're able to specify the type of voice and type of speaking for this one. So basically, there's two, like, you go to hume.ai, and then there's like one box of like, how do you want your voice to sound? And you can be like, I want it to be male sounding. I want him to have a gruff, raspy voice, and I want him to talk really loudly. I also want him to be upbeat about anything he talks about, like it's the most, he's the most passionate person about it in the world or whatever. Like you can describe how you want them to respond and how you want them to sound, and then also
The
what you
Charles
want them to
Dickens
say.
character that's just like that
Well,
from Bleak House. Oh, I love him.
then
I
you
can't
can
remember his
recreate
name
him.
right now.
You
Oh
can
my gosh, he's the greatest. Everything is like 110%. I'm sorry, I'm being a nerd. Yes. Cool.
You can recreate his voice then. But yeah, and then you can say what you want it to say, and then it'll come up with a few options of like a few outputs so that you can pick which one was the closest to what you were trying to get at. So I messed around with it because it was free, so I just tried it and it was kind of cool. I didn't think it was perfect, but it was another take on it where you're able to actually just create your voice, not use one of the options provided. So I thought that was kind
Sure.
of cool. And then also Sesame Realistic AI, where they're creating voices as well, but they're focusing on like the kind of classic human quirks like stuttering and laughing and throat clearing and things
Hmm.
like that to make it extra realistic. So it is funny. It's just like it feels like voice was a big topic this week, just of different organizations that are trying to make it more and more realistic. And it's like, cool. What's the point? Wow, why do we want an AI that can talk naturally?
Well, I
I
mean,
don't
they're
know.
using that in healthcare now. We talked about that,
That's
right? I
true.
mean, like when you're working, when you're on whatever job, office, whatever,
Yeah.
you just talk to it.
I just get it in general. I get that we want realistic ones. If you want a friend that's an AI, you want it to sound human like.
It's basically
But
like Cars 3.
does that happen in
Just
Cars 3?
sigh. Everything is voice activated nowadays.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, yeah. You also mentioned 11 Labs though, and I was just gonna mention that I
Yeah.
wanted to be more creative, but I like AI and I like shortcuts. So I saw a reel about this guy that was, of course, like I make a ton of money on TikTok or whatever, and I don't plan on necessarily making money from this, but he showed how you can, I think he used ChatGPT to write a short story, and then he threw it in 11 Labs and turned it into voice. And so I did this process and I used 11 Labs for the first time. I definitely heard about it a lot, but it was pretty good. It was very fast. And then download the voice and then record some copyright free Minecraft speed running, type stuff where it's like that background video that you always see on
Yep.
YouTube. And then you go into CapCut and put the video there, crop it, put the audio in, and then do a live caption thing. So that'll show the words and put that in the center. And then just post it on TikTok. And then it's, that's some Minecraft thing that'll hook the viewer's attention, and then they'll watch the video and hear the short story, and it's very fast to make it. In the end, it
Hmm.
needs a lot of subscriptions because you don't necessarily need subscription to AI, but I have one all right already to Grok 3. And then you only have a certain amount of free credits for 11 labs before you have to pay, and also CapCut you have to pay for the ability to use the live caption thing. So there's a couple subscriptions involved, but it is very easy, very quick to put out decent content. The only reason I felt justified in doing this one because I see a lot of like do this with AI, and I'm like that just feels sketchy. It just feels like putting out nothing. It feels like putting out nothing,
Sure.
or it feels like
Yeah.
putting out someone else's work and trying to make money off of it. That's like writing a book, like AI writing a book and then publishing it. It's like I don't want to do that. I didn't write this
Yeah.
book. It's not creative. If people buy it and they learn something from it, cool, but that's the only reason it's good. But for a quick TikTok scroll where I'm not hurting anything, they can watch it if they want to watch it. If they're entertained by it, they can like it, they can comment, whatever. They can even follow the account, but it's not going to hurt anything because they can also swipe by and they're not spending any money or anything like that. It felt a little less bad. And also, I could verify that the story is good or whatever. I could
Yeah.
still, or even, change a bit of it up. So it felt like I had a bit more control over it, and I wouldn't just be putting out garbage. So I did try it. I even made a new TikTok account and re-got TikTok after I deleted it for many months, but like a year or something. But I got it, and I made a new account and posted a couple videos, and they did decently well. So I know it's a new account. I don't know how all the algorithm works, and I don't know if it would actually keep up if I kept posting videos like this, but the last one got like 1,000 views, and I was like, all right, cool. So it was fun. It was a fun test of things. It was fun to use 11 labs for the first time, and I may or may not splurge and have fun with a couple subscriptions in the future for like a month and see about making more content or doing cool things. I've also just had CapCut since before it was popular, and so I've had
Right.
that one for several years, and it'd be fun to get a subscription and have the coolest tools on it. So, yeah, random. But as far as trying to be creative, I know it's not the most creative
Yeah, it's
thing. I
great.
should do other things as well. But I also like, it's like silly, but I've started watching reels. If I go on Instagram, I try to watch a reel and then be inspired where it's like a reel of drawing. I'm like, I should draw, or a reel of someone doing some cool trick with the stick or whatever, I don't know, some cool thing. And I'm like, like pencil spinning or whatever in their hands. And I'm like,
Yeah,
all
yeah,
right, I
yeah,
should I should
totally.
figure that out, or I'm gonna save it for later and maybe try to learn it. And I don't know. I'm trying to see all of content as more of the through the lens of what can I learn from this? What can I do?
Inspiration and
Yeah.
yeah,
So
that's cool.
yeah, it's kind of fun. That
I
was
think
like
that's the
my
way to use
project.
social media. So
Yeah. Well, that's how I usually use it. I just don't want to get lost on it, especially with TikTok downloaded now. I don't want to like be like, oh, I got a notification, open the notification, get lost for 20 minutes. So
yeah,
I'm trying to be like, all right, if I'm on there, I'm on there to get inspired, get some quick motivation. And I also don't want to be on there for also just filler time either. I'm gonna do something in
yeah.
5 minutes, but I'm sitting around. I don't want to get on TikTok. I want to, I don't know, do something else. Yeah.
Drink coffee,
No, I have
meditate.
had coffee like
Mm,
twice in my life, and like for sips of it.
so good. So good.
I don't like caffeine right now. So
Right. Well, if people are listening to the podcast, they will believe you.
this is like my new favorite energy drink, though.
It's so berry though.
It's
I don't
it's
know,
so
man.
good. I
I
love
just
berry.
give
I
me a
love berry fruit.
citrus. Give me a citrus one any
No,
day.
no, that's just it. Is I don't like the carbonation. I don't like that zap when it comes to energy drinks. So the Monster
So you
juices are
mean
my
citrus?
favorite,
Oh,
probably, but
okay,
also
okay, yeah,
carbonation even like Red Bull. Red Bull compared to Monster juice, it's pow. It's like Sprite compared to,
that's why I like Red Bull.
not Sprite. Uh yeah.
It's like McDonald's spray. Slap in the
Yeah,
face.
literally. But I like the new flavor too, and it's been a while since I've had energy drinks, so that probably helps too. I'm just like, whoa,
Probably.
this is so good.
This is so beautiful. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Well, what else you got, dude?
What else I got?
Yeah, what else you got? I mean, you kind of got to go rapid fire if we're gonna make it in time,
Yeah.
or we could not.
Uh,
It's okay too.
I have a couple things that don't matter. AI getting
Sweet.
better at reading handwriting.
Oh, okay.
Google's AI mode is being implemented places so that whether you're using phone search apps, etc., it'll become more of an assistant. I think they're just trying to stay ahead, so they're trying to turn their search into a better feature. Basically, they want you to still go to Google when you want to learn things, so they're trying to make it
Sure,
easier and
yeah.
more of an assistant. And so, and then the last
That's
thing
good. That's
is,
smart.
what's your take on AI getting citizenship or rights?
I don't even know.
Because I
I
guess
don't
that's been
even
a
know, honestly.
conversation lately. It's just like if it gets
It's
really good,
terrible
it's
because,
got a
like,
really good voice. It sounds supernatural. It becomes like, well known. Like the whole world, the whole country knows it. It's everyone's friend. Should it have rights? There's a
that's
simple
above my
answer.
pay grade. I don't know,
The
man.
answer is no. It's not
The
alive.
answer is
Someone
no.
someone owns it first of all, and just because you own something like you own a pet, it doesn't mean it doesn't have rights. But someone owns this non-living being. It doesn't matter how realistic it is. Even if you were to pull the plug, you're not actually destroying anything living. But then you're destroying someone's piece of property if it's not them doing it. And then that could be illegal, but that's to them. That's not to the AI. I don't think AI should have rights. Definitely not citizenship, whatever that would mean. But I don't think it should have rights either.
What's the harm in it having rights, though?
Because if it has rights, does it have the right to vote when it's not a human? Does it have the right to stay alive when it's a piece of technology that could become dangerous or something? If it has rights, do then we have to create laws of what AI can't do on its own because it's now self-aware? It makes no sense for it to have rights. Even animals don't have a ton of rights. That's why there's a bunch of protests for them. But like they they have some rights, but like it's a machine. My
I don't
computer
know,
doesn't have
man.
rights. It can do a
I don't
lot.
know, man. It just takes my brain down a very twisted thought
You're just trying to
path.
take the other side. You're trying to
No,
make this
I'm not.
interesting.
I'm picturing someone like trying to like kill a robot or something and the robot being
Yeah.
sad and like how close are we going to get to that to where it seems like it's a real human being or something, like ugh.
That makes
So
it
that's why
extra
I don't
messed
want to
up
make a decision because it's
to
super messed up.
that makes it extra messed up to eliminate it, but it doesn't make it any more real.
I know, but it would be so weird. I don't know, man. Like I said, again, above my pay grade. I don't know that I want to make this call. You're probably right. Whatever you say, bro.
All right, cool. That was it. That was the last note.
Okay, cool. Well,
Hmm.
um, good. Thank you, listeners.
Oh wow, yeah, you beat me to it. I was just about to thank them for the first time. I was about to
Were
care.
you?
Yeah, I
Oh,
know.
man,
You should have let
missed
me.
it.
Oh well.
So sad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. 132 views or 130 views. I don't know. I'm not keeping track of our last video. Our last video just did well. Anyway, yeah.
Oh,
All right.
man.
See you next week then, maybe.
All right, see you next week.
All right. Peace out.